All right, welcome back to the DBTalks Football Podcast. Today we're going to be breaking down one of the biggest Champions League clashes of the 25-26 season, and it's going to be Barcelona versus Chelsea. My name is Dishon. I'm going to be your host along with my co-host Burjesh. And today we've invited two Chelsea fan guests. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Harmon, and I am a Chelsea fan.
I'm Haytham, and I'm also a Chelsea fan.
And along with them, we have one more additional Barca fan guest.
Yeah, my name's Piyush, and I'm a Barca fan.
All right, let's get right into it. So for the Barca side, I guess we can talk about how Barca is doing so far. Any ideas?
I can go, I guess. I think at the start, Barca were doing good, but then in between, Barca were also not doing well with the injuries stacking up. But then as of recently, Barca, I think, been in good form. However, I do think the injury of Pedri kind of affected how Barca played. So I think that can be a concern going to Chelsea because Chelsea are still a pretty good team this season. So having a good midfield will be very important. So along with De Jong, I don't think Pedri will start. It's kind of unlikely because he hasn't trained too much. So I wonder if Eric will play or someone else. And I think the El Clasico loss. Okay, I'll just say the El Clasico loss and PSG loss were kind of our big setbacks, and even the Club Brugge draw were setbacks in the UCL as Barca are like outside top 8 right now, so that's kind of bad.
Yeah, I do feel for this season, the overall one of the biggest issues for this team was that we had a lot of injuries, and basically Fick has had to adapt a lot. So I guess recently most of our injuries concerns have been slowing down. We've had Rafinha come back, and hopefully Pedri can be back for this game. But yeah, I think the most recent result, 4-0 win against Athletic Bilbao at the new Camp Nou. I think that's been very encouraging, and hopefully the team can carry their form to the next game against Chelsea. And as we mentioned before, our big games this season have been slightly disappointing. Obviously, we've lost to Real Madrid and we lost to PSG. Both games are kind of close. We lost both of them like 2-1. So yeah, hopefully this game, another big game. I hope we perform and we get a big performance.
Does the
Piyush?
others, this
Oh
piece
yeah,
talk?
so I think today our defense was not too bad. I think they were playing pretty good compared to like games before, and we didn't concede today. I was kind of surprised to see Eric at the DM, but I think it worked pretty well. And I would say like with the absence of Pedri, that'll be like a pretty big hit for the Chelsea game. But I hope our midfield can perform, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest concerns for this game is going to be obviously Barcelona's high line and their defense vulnerabilities. So hopefully, recently Flick seemed to be coping with that and being able to properly adapt to ensure that we don't concede as many goals. And obviously, we had a clean sheet against Bilbao. So hopefully, the line doesn't be too weak against Chelsea because we do know that they have runners such as Garnacho. They have Bino Gittins, who's okay. They have Estevao, maybe could have an impact.
And not just that, but even like in the UCL, Barca drop points, it'll be kind of hard to kind of pick up the momentum to try and fight for top 8 because the top 8 right now is like very competitive and like the points are very close. So like any like drop in points, it's gonna hurt Barcelona's chance of getting top 8 and having to play like less games and just guaranteeing like qualifying into the knockouts. And even just Chelsea is just a big game in general. It's been a long time since Barca and Chelsea have played, and it's just two European giants playing. So it's a game that you like really want to win. So yeah, I think it will be exciting, and it's away to a Stamford Bridge. So I'm sure the atmosphere will be pretty interesting. And I know that a lot of Chelsea players and even fans, they want to play Barcelona. So that's pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah, and also to add on, yeah, this is a historical fixture. Obviously, Chelsea fans do to end up crying about how they got robbed in the past, but I feel that's all a gimmick. So hopefully they can be humbled again. And also, I've been seeing a lot of Chelsea fans comparing Estevao to Yamal, saying how Estevao could be maybe even clear of Yamal, which is pretty basically ludicrous. But I feel, yeah, I think a lot of agendas and a lot of takes could be answered during this game. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in this game. I guess we can go to the Chelsea side of things.
Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the Chelsea side of things. So I did hear a lot of misinformation from some people So, looking at Chelsea's past, you'll hate them unmute. Looking at Chelsea's past fixtures, Chelsea have looked pretty good. The form is looking good. I know Chelsea. People say Chelsea's defense isn't looking that good, but in the Prem, we now have three back to back clean sheets. I think Chelsea's defense is actually very strong when we play our best 11, which I think we will be doing against Barca. To be honest, against Barca, I'm not sure what that 11 will be, except for a few spots, because Enzo Maresca will never keep 1-11, and I think looking at previous big games that Chelsea have played this season, such as Liverpool, even Liverpool are kind of looking horrible this season, so that doesn't mean much to me. And Tottenham that doesn't even count as a big game. But that Bayern game was, I do believe in that first half we did play good, but defensive errors at the back from Chalobah, I think Caicedo and Gusto did cost us that game. But I do believe we were playing good, especially with Palmer, and Palmer will be a big miss in this game for sure, especially against that Barcelona high line. Okay. Looking at the Barca high line, I think that we can definitely expose it, especially with players like I do believe Garnacho will be starting on that left and Esteval on that right.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully, honestly, I don't want the Liam Delap to start because his start to the season has not been looking good. Even today against Burnley, he was horrendous. Could have sent Enzo for a tap in, didn't, and just his overall play was pretty horrendous. I do want Joao Pedro to start as striker, and then have someone like Enzo in the 10. And I'm gonna pass it to Hatham now.
No, yeah, those are also amazing points by Harmon. I would love to say too, based on Maresca's like tactical system, a team like Barcelona, with how Hansi Flick abuses that highlight, it seems more than likely that he won't drop this highlight, especially with a team like Chelsea who have insane front runners. Like he mentioned the players such as Gittins, Esteval, Garnacho, Neto. The list continues. We have such amazing players such as that, and this seems almost familiar to like that PSG game in the Club World Cup, where tactically we would wait and like on a counter, almost like a counter attack, where we would have three in the back and two in the midfield, and almost everyone pushing up, ready for that counter. So again, yeah, I'm very, very interested to see how Maresca will tactically set this up. Will he push for more attackers and like maybe push would he push for Santos to start as well with Caicedo? But basically more talking about the team. Again, back to what Harmon said, we've gone 3 games with clean sheets. We haven't made much defensive errors, and in most of our game, we've kept almost reliable possession. There were rarely any chances where we made like fatal mistakes with progressing the ball, and that's basically all I had to say right now in mind.
Okay, now I also want to look at how we can win this game against Barcelona. I do believe Chelsea have a good chance, especially with our best XI. I know Palmer is missing, and that is a very big miss as he is our best player. But I think even without him, we can still win this game. It all matters about how we play. Usually, I think when Chelsea do lose games, it is because of their own errors. Look at the last game we dropped points at Karabag. Hato was horrible. He was getting bodied off the ball, and he gave away a pen as well. And Tosin, I do not, even though he was great today against Burnley, that is Burnley. That's a completely different level from Barcelona. So it all depends on our defense and not them not making errors. And I also do want us to control the game. I want us to have a good amount of possession and expose that high line. And I also want to talk about the discipline issues in this Chelsea squad. We actually haven't got a red card in 4 games now, which is a good amount for Chelsea. But we got to make sure to keep our heads cool, especially I do think Barca and Chelsea is a little bit of a fierce fixture, especially considering the history when Barca did rob Chelsea in 2009.
No, yeah, 100% agree with Harmon here. And I just wanted to add on about the discipline issue. So surprisingly, this Burnley game, only two of our players have gotten only two of our starting players have gotten a yellow, which being Neto and Pedro. Which, to be fair, I wouldn't say they were bad calls. They were okay calls, and yes, it was more so silly fouls. Even see Maresca get another yellow, which is honestly a little concerning considering that is our manager and he was talking about discipline issues. But even in our last game, which was Wolf, I don't think a single of our starting player. Oh no, Caicedo got a yellow, but and it was honestly a horrid call. But again, back to what I was saying about discipline, we have been improving. There have been less reckless tackles and more successful clean ball winnings. So yeah, I just wanted to put that into the mix as well.
Yeah, but looking at the yellows from today's game, we did see Neto got his yellow for delaying the restart. That wasn't really needed. Neto, like, I'd never get this squad. They always have to just make the game harder for themselves, like kicking the ball away. There's no point. Just, I don't know. I don't get them sometimes. But yeah, I think we should move on to the next segment.
Yeah, just before that, I mean, I guess we can talk about some of the Barca things one more time. So after this game, I think there were some concerns on the lineup that's going to be facing Chelsea. Obviously, Rashford missed this game because he had a flu. So hopefully he's back for the next game against Chelsea. We saw Balde get subbed off at halftime. Maybe, I mean, there wasn't major reports that it was injury, but it is a bit concerning. So hopefully he's not fully injured. Hopefully he is still fit for the Chelsea game. And obviously, we have Frankie de Jong coming back to the 11. We have, hopefully, if possible, Pedri coming back. I doubt it though. Rafinha, I think he might not start because he just got back from injury. But I do think he'll come on and make an impact on the game. And then obviously, guys like João Garcia, he's going to be vital in this game. Lewandowski, I think he can continue his goal scoring form. Yamal obviously has a lot to do in this game to prove himself. And then yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Eric Garcia and Kubarsi start at the back, or if Flick goes with Araujo or someone else. Yeah, any other thoughts from the Barca guys?
I just want to say that the Firminator is returning. He rejected Chelsea in the summer, and then we're gonna see
Uh,
him play Chelsea. And I actually think Firmino is probably the goal on Tuesday, just because of how attacking minded he is. He always tries to shoot. He's kind of selfish at times, which can be bad at times actually, because it kind of wastes like certain chances that Barcelona create. But I do think for me will be a player to watch on Tuesday because yeah, I think his press is very good. Like today, I think his press and aggressiveness was like it helped Barca a lot to win the ball back. So I think that can be helpful for Chelsea, like in the midfield or even against their defense. So I think that'll be something to look out for.
okay, let's
You
move
guys,
on to our predicted 11s for both teams. So we'll start on the Barca side, if you guys want to help me. So obviously, I think for goalkeeper, we're gonna see Joan Garcia.
Yeah,
Right back, I do think Koundé is gonna start for us still because I
yeah,
think he
yeah.
did pick up form today. I think he was really good today. Center backs, who do you guys think?
I think Kubarsi. I think Kubarsi gonna be one of them for sure. For the second one, I don't
Yeah.
know if it'll go Eric Garcia or Araujo. 'Cause then I don't know what, like the midfield would be. But I think he might do Eric Garcia instead. But like I'm not too sure.
I
Yeah, I do
think
feel like Kubarsi's a lock, and I think Eric Garcia is gonna be a lock in the team. It just depends if he's gonna go midfield or center back.
Yeah.
yeah, I think Eric and Kubarsi will be the center backs, and then because I think we'll see a different midfield.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when
Yeah.
we get to that, but yeah.
Moving on to left back, I hopefully Balde's not injured out like for real. I think if he's fully fit, he's gonna obviously start. Otherwise, it's
Yep.
gonna be Jared Martin. I mean, he's been solid so far, but obviously that's not ideal for our team.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Joao Martin at center back because today he was actually good at center back. So
I just think that's too big of a game to risk playing Jared Martin at the center back.
2 assists versus Inter.
I mean, that was a
He
left
still
back though, wasn't it?
he still has a crossing ability though.
From center back?
I mean, yeah. Plus, I mean, depending on what happens with the left wing if Rashford plays, because Balde likes to push up anyways. So Joao Martin will kind of shift to left like anyways while Balde is like up. So I mean, it just depends on who's actually playing.
I mean, yeah, I think Martin, his crossing is a big threat for the team, but it is going to depend if he does start at left back or not. But moving over to the DMs, I do think Pedri might start. I don't think he's going to start. I think Frank de
I think
Jong's
De Jong's
obviously
a
a
lock for
lock.
sure for one of
Yeah,
them.
he's a lock. I think Flick could experiment with Air Garcia at DM, or he can just go with, I think he's been trying Almo at DM so far. So
I would like to
I
see
think
Casado, but I don't
yeah,
know
I
if he'll
think
hop on or
Casado.
not.
Yeah, I think Casado and Dion will be the double pivot. If
did
not, then
Casado
probably
play a lot
Olmo.
against, yeah, he came on in like 30 minutes. So, I mean,
I mean today.
yeah, Casado today he came on for like around 30 minutes. So I don't know if he's fully fit yet, but yeah.
I think no, I think it'll be De Jong and like either Casado or even Olmo, but
Yeah.
I think Olmo might actually start, but I'm not sure.
I think
But I like
yeah,
to see
maybe
Bernal.
almost start.
Bernal off the bench would be good, I think.
I think yeah,
Yeah.
Bernal came on for like 20 minutes today, so I think he's picking up form or like picking up fitness. But I do think he's going to come off the bench, obviously. Moving on to Cam, I think Fermin is obviously a lock for this game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
obviously we know our right wing, Yamal, hopefully has a big performance. Left wing, this could be up for debate. I do think it's either I think Rashford most likely starts. Hopefully he's not still like sick during the game. Otherwise, maybe Flick if Rafinha's fully fit, Rafinha could also start.
Yeah, I don't know if Rafinha will start or not. I think he'll come on later, but I think Rashford is most likely gonna start.
I think
And
yeah,
if
if it's not Rashford, it's probably Varane.
yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
It's
Rashford's
probably
still not
Varane.
fully fit, then it's probably Ferran.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
up top.
striker, I think hopefully Lewandowski still fits. He's gonna be obviously starting. Otherwise, if
Yeah.
something happens, it might be Ferran at striker.
Or a Rahul.
Hopefully we see that during the end of the game. Actually, no, I don't want that. Whatever. Okay, yeah, we can
Should we
move
move
on to
on
the
to the
Chelsea
tough
team.
side?
Okay, now hit them. Okay,
Okay.
so and in goalie, I think we'll obviously see Robert Sanchez. He is a solid goalkeeper, especially at shot stopping, but he does have a bozo moment in him, especially when he is on the ball. What do you think of that? Hit them.
Okay, honestly, I hear what you're trying to say, but it's also 50-50. Like today, for example, we definitely saw on that Mark Gui goal, sorry, the assist he made, that when Robert Sanchez was getting pressed, he invited the attack to come closer towards him. And we definitely seen in the past he would rather just clear the ball and just like inshallah it. But here we clearly saw he dragged the attack closer and closer and closer. Even the midfield started pressing up, thinking they were going to get a counter. He made a delightful pass to Gusto, was it? Who then played the ball all the way up to was it? I forgot who it was in midfield. But then they then passed to Neto, which then passed to Gui, sorry, Gui, and then in the end, Gui beat the players and everything, and he then passed to Enzo for that goal. I honestly say the highlight of that play was Sanchez, the remarkable IQ he had to draw the attack and the defense like closer and closer towards him to create that instant counter in under like 2 minutes. Was it? It was a beautiful play by him, and honestly, he is the starting keeper. I don't think Philip Jorgensen even touches the starting
Yeah,
11 in this
that
game.
guy is not. He's not good enough to play for Chelsea. I think Philip Jorgensen. I'm talking about.
He's
Sanchez.
getting
Yeah,
a
we do
loan
see his
soon.
distribution. We see his distribution against PSG as well. We saw that pass to Gusto. But let's focus. Oh wait, 1 second. Hit them. Talk.
Oh yeah. So yeah, let's move on to the defense now. Here's where it gets tricky. We've honestly been having a huge rotation crisis in the defense. I don't think we started 2 games back to back with the same defenders, the two same center backs. So for instant lock, we can definitely say left back is Kukurea. I don't think anyone else. Maybe Hato can talk there because Kukurea has been like overworked, but I do think Maresco will start Kukurea for this tough fixture. He has the experience and he has proven before he has the work rate to play this game. And let's move on to right back. I honestly
Okay. Wait,
say
wait, wait, wait. Sorry, wait, wait. I'm back. Okay. So you said left back Kukurea. Wait, what did you think about center backs?
center backs. I said this is we'll come back to this after we get to the right back because this
Okay.
is where it's most tricky. I have a bold prediction that Maresca will run Gusto at right back in this game.
I
My
think
thought
I had
I
a
process.
think
question. I had a question. Why did Reece James get hooked at the halftime today?
Oh no, he
he
didn't
didn't
get
get
hooked.
hooked. He was actually playing. He was playing completely fine. It's just Reece James. He's not very injury prone anymore, but it is to rest him, especially after he did play a full 90 under England's
Tuchel.
Tuchel in England. So yeah, it's just simple rest and rotation, especially considering the hard games we have. We have Barca and then Arsenal right after. Reece James is one of our most important players. He's our captain, and we need to rest him.
That's one home. Couldn't have said it better than you there. Yeah, it's very interesting how that full 90 for Serbia, and we definitely seen in the Burnley game how he was getting like pressed a lot there, and he still remained vigilant. He was still really ready on the ball. He was amazing to watch then. So just perfectly being rested for Arsenal and Barcelona, which are two tough back-to-back fixtures. It makes sense not to risk anything in a 3 point game. So yeah,
Yeah, for
but
the
that
right back slot, I'm not sure. I honestly think he could start both Reece James and Gusto. Is what I'm thinking, but I don't know
my
to be
thought
honest.
process for this is because of the high line. We have seen how Maresca's done this against. And I'm purely basing this off PSG and Barcelona because they somewhat have a similar structure base. where both of their fullbacks and how the wingers work. They love to play that high line and get ready for that quick little possession-based counter. What I see here is Gusto. We've seen how amazing he is overlapping. My thought process here is that Maresca would try to bring, when James is in the midfield, on the counter, he would bring him into the three back with our two other center backs and Kukurea inverting into the midfield. We've seen Maresca do this setup a lot, and I personally think he would love to run this against a team like Barcelona, where they're very shaky in the defense and they're not that great when it comes to teams with quick counters.
Okay. Let's try to move on with the next positions quicker. So let's cover the center
Yeah.
backs. I don't know. Wesley Fofana wasn't in the squad today, but I do think I'm not sure, to be honest, about his fitness. I think he is fit, so I do want him to start. What do you
Mhm.
think?
No, yeah, Fofana, he seems fully fit. He seems ready. I think Maresca was also saying just resting him for this game. So I say Fofana is an instant lock for this center back role. He's quite arguably been our greatest center back this season. And my thought is that Benoit Badiashile would
Yeah,
start with.
yeah, I agree. But I do have a thing for like Maresca. I don't really get this guy sometimes. Josh Akampong has been playing amazing for us, especially at center back.
Phenomenal.
I don't really get why Maresca doesn't use him at all. Like he hasn't started the past like 3-4 games for some reason. I just don't understand why. Um, I wouldn't mind Akampong being used at left center back, but I do think Badiashile will start.
Yeah, Maresca does prefer a center back that is a left center back that is left footed, and
Yep.
considering Benoit is our only available left footed center back. Now let's
Yep.
move
Okay,
on to
let's
midfield.
go. Yep.
So we know
So
that Palmer is injured. That is really, really like what we did think at first it would affect us, but we've seen how well the team's been playing without him. What do you think our two DMs would be?
So Santos did play a lot today and with a great performance, but I don't think we will be seeing him starting. We will definitely see Caicedo. He was fully rested today, which was amazing considering the
Mhm.
Ecuador manager used him for 2 full 90s in the for international friendlies. I don't get it, whatever. But yeah, Caicedo will definitely be starting and probably playing the full 90. And I think beside him, I think we're gonna see either Gusto or Reece James.
No, 100% agree with that. Yeah. It might be risky playing with two right backs again, purely because that Pong, as great as he is, he's still an academy player. He's still really young. We don't know if he like has the 100% full capabilities to get on in case something were to happen to Gusto or Reece James. So it'd be crazy. It'd be interesting to think about this.
Yep. Okay, now let's go to Cam.
Cam.
I think I'm actually not sure. This could be either Joao Pedro or Enzo. But what do you think? What do you think?
I personally think Liam Delap, unfortunately, as much as I've been backing him, I don't think he starts for this game. I think Maresca will want to run Enzo Fernandez at the cam. We've seen how amazing he is with his passing. He's found the vision. He's been our top player of the season, one of our top players of the season,
Yeah, and we saw
alongside
today
Caicedo.
the box crashing. He's a great box crasher, which I think will
He's
be
great at
important.
finding those late
And
goals.
his passes to break a high line are beautiful. So I think he's gonna be
He'll
very
always
important.
find open man. So yeah, cam spot he'll definitely get into. Let's move on to right wing. Here is the most interesting spot.
I
I
think Esteval will 100% start. I don't think Neto will start.
I 100% believe Esteban would start too. Neto, as much as amazing as he is, he gets really like I wouldn't say he gets really exhausted easily. Now we've started seeing he's been playing full 90s now, especially a crazy full 90 versus Burnley, which was very interesting to think about. But I do think Esteban fully starts here, and it'd be interesting to see those shouts after what happens to this game. Esteban playing right wing against a big European club.
Yeah, I think Neto, he was amazing today. One of the best players on the pitch. Great goal, amazing pass for the second goal. And he would be important for a high line. But I think Esteval will start, and he deserves to because he's just been amazing for us this season. Showed up for the past few games, and yeah, I think we should move on to left wing now.
Oh yeah, as amazing as Bino Gittins has been, scored in all competitions he's played for Chelsea, or sorry,
What?
got a GA for every competition he's been in so far. Amazing player, but I do think Garnacho is the one to start here.
Yeah, Garnacho, as we saw against Wolves, we saw when he was taking on his man. Um, he is actually very pacey, which I didn't really know. I didn't know how fast he was when he was at Man United, and we saw him taking on that fullback. He was amazing, and I think he will be very important against this Highline as well. He does. I do think he does have like he does ghost in games sometimes, but he'll ghost and then he'll score a beautiful goal. He's one of those players like Salah who will just get a GA to cover up their performance. But I think that's very important. That's very important for games like this.
No, 100%. The more goals, no matter how you've been playing in an important game like this, is what matters. Now, moving on to our final position, striker. Now, do you want to continue on with this first?
I think it'll 100% beat João Pedro. Delap has not earned his spot for this game. Maybe against Arsenal. Even then, he just hasn't impressed me at all. Mark Guiu, it would be nice for him to start against his old team, but he won't. He was great today when he came off the bench. I'd love to see the minutes off the bench. I don't know if he will. It might be Delap off the bench, but I think João Pedro 100% deserves to start at striker. At the 10, he is very good, but I just think Delap's not good enough for striker, so we need to move João Pedro there, and he's good at striker as well.
Wait,
100%.
Harm, I just have a question for you real quick.
Yep.
So what do you think of João Pedro's performance today against Burnley? Because like, if you didn't know, he didn't score. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, goals and
Um,
assists aren't everything, especially since he's not a striker. As we saw, he did get a beautiful pass to Liam Delap, playing a pretty good in the 10 role, and was his ball carrying is amazing. I do think his final decision making is not the best, but his ball carrying is amazing. We can see his passing is honestly so underrated. That Travella pass to Delap where Delap ruined the play, that was amazing. Yeah, he didn't get a GA today, which that doesn't really matter. He was still pretty okay. He's pretty good, not that bad.
and a stat that most people don't realize this, which is also insanely creative for a striker, as Joao Pedro or false nine, is that no other player in the Prem has created more clear-cut chances than Joao Pedro. What this means is, even though he may not be taking his shots as much as he used to, like in the beginning of the season or even during the Club World Cup, we definitely see that he's not just being a liability off the like when he's not taking those shots. He's always trying to find that player who can get in that shot in for him when he can't. He's been moving very fluid off the ball, trying to find those open pockets. So yeah, we can't just say he's been a bad striker just because he hasn't been getting the GA to almost like say that he's been bad. But yeah,
Okay, should we move on to combined 11 now, or do you guys have any questions or any statements you want to say?
I have a quick question actually. So for the midfield, because we know the midfield is probably the most important part of like a team, like everything runs through the midfield. So I just want to get a better sense of how you think Chelsea will perform against Barca. So, with the midfielders you mentioned, like Caicedo, and then I think Santos and Enzo the midfield, right? Or like, what
No,
do you
not
think will?
Santos. Santos
Not
won't be
Santos.
starting for sure. It could. I don't really. I'm not 100% sure what the midfield will be because Maresca doesn't really rotate. Like you just don't know what he's going to do in the next game. But my two predicted midfields are either going to be Joao Pedro, Enzo, Caicedo, or it would be Enzo and the 10, Caicedo, DM, and then either Reece James or Gusto. So right back
Okay.
there.
So with either of those midfields, how do you think they'll cope with the technical ability of Barca's midfielders such as De Jong and Pedri if you start? So like, how do you think they'll fare against them?
I think we've seen Caicedo boss midfield of technical midfielders already. We saw against PSG, he was amazing. He was honestly marking everyone, and that is when we saw Enzo in the 10 as well. So we've seen Caicedo could already manage a midfield by himself, and he is much more physical than these technical midfielders, I'd say for sure. He's always bodying players, and he knows how to use his body. And the guy is literally everywhere, and he is now fully rested as well. So I think he has to use his physicalness, I guess. I don't even know if that's a word. Physicalness to counter the technicalness of like De Jong and Casado.
Physicality.
Yeah, that word.
wait, Harm, sorry.
I mean, yeah.
You kind of cut out for me there, but you said your first opinion was Enzo, JP, and Caicedo. What was your
No, no,
second?
no, 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 no. For midfield, I don't think it'll be that. I don't know to be honest. It'll be I think Enzo, Caicedo, and a right back, one of the right backs.
I think most likely Gusto is the one in midfield. For some reason, whenever he does play midfield, again, Reece James or Kukurea would be the one to invert into that slot, where Gusto more so pushes up because we've seen this season he's been more of an attacking fullback rather than more so focused on like that possession based and defending fullback. He's the one that's trying to get up and make those like dangerous crosses or make those dangerous passes. We've seen internationally too. Deschamps has been playing him perfectly. We've seen those that brace of an assist that he got internationally. So I do think he'd be the one to start in the midfield.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
wanted to
even
say like my overall opinion on the Chelsea like team. I think there's a lot of kind of questions on who's gonna actually start for Chelsea. I think your goalkeeper and defense is pretty locked. I think your midfield, obviously Enzo and Caicedo, is pretty locked. I do think your attack has the most questions around it because we've seen how João Pedro himself has said like he's not a full striker himself. He needs like a proper striker in front of him to kind of work off. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he you guys said he might start a striker, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he copes against the Barca defense. And obviously, yeah, you guys have a lot of wingers, so it's gonna be interesting to see who starts for Chelsea and how they impact the game. But overall, yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Okay, I
Yeah,
think I think. All
you
right,
can
go
go.
ahead.
Sorry. Harvey, you go first, my bad.
Okay, so I think the wingers are locked. I think it'll definitely be Garnacho Estevao. That striker and cam position, I think, are very could be anyone to be honest. But we've seen João Pedro thrive in the 9 position in the Club World Cup and early on in the season. We could see João Pedro. I mean, it worked more well with Palmer, where they were linking up beautifully. But I think João Pedro, he's just an amazing player overall. I think at the 9 or 10, he can work. And that cam position, if he's there, I'm happy with that too.
No, yeah, you 100% read my mind too. And games like these, for teams like these, we definitely see JP as the type to make those like runs, especially out wide or more. Like he's a very versatile attacker. He can work off both wings. He can even drop back if he wants like Enzo to box crash even later. So for this defense, considering how shaky it is, with fluctuating between the high line and dropping back really quickly on the counters, I do think João Pedro will thrive under these circumstances. He will definitely find the perfect run through. And again, seeing how Enzo makes those split crosses and those split passes. We've even seen Reece James. He's done it from far. Those passes he does to the left wing all the time, and even up forward to Neto. We've seen him doing it all the time. I do truly believe that this game can be won in like the long ball range, and seeing JP how he makes those runs and makes those off the ball movements with Enzo, I do think he'll thrive here.
Yeah, another thing, a lot of this Chelsea team is very young, and this is going to be for most of them one of their first big games in their careers, especially in the Champions League. Guys like Estevao, we've seen him score his tap ins in his games. He's has a pretty good season so far. So let's see how he copes with this Barca team. Guys like Garnacho, they have something to prove because obviously he had a bad stint, his later stint at United, and moving to Chelsea, he's been good so far. So yeah, interesting to see how he does.
I have another
Yeah,
quick question. So you mentioned before also with the defense, like they're very prone to errors. Like you mentioned, like some games, like the games that Chelsea lose, a lot of it comes from their own errors, even from the
Yeah.
defense mainly.
Yeah.
So how did that work against Barca, who are probably one of the more aggressive teams, one of the best like attacks in the world? I mean, don't you think that with like how prone Chelsea are to like, errors, that like that's a very big concern against a team like Barca that like constantly create chances. They're very possession dominant. Like they always hold onto the ball, create all these chances. They have Lamine Yamal, who we see what we can do. He can just score goals out of nowhere, just create something. So don't you think that's like a very, very big concern? So it's hard
Yes.
for Chelsea
Yeah.
to cope with that.
I mean, Yamal scoring goals out of nowhere. The guy scored 9 league goals. I'm not really sure what that's about. But if we actually are looking at our center backs and right back and left back, I think the only people who are actually making mistakes, like if we look at that Bayern game where our defense was honestly that was horrendous. Every goal was through a mistake. Um, it all depends on the 11. If we have Reece James and Kukurea starting, those 2 players aren't making mistakes. They have experience in Europe already through their earlier years at Chelsea. They're not prone to mistakes at all, and it's mostly our center backs who are prone to mistakes, such as Chalobah. We've seen him this season. It was a pretty bad start. He is looking pretty good as of recent, but I think if we start Wesley Fofana and Badiashile, who have been very solid for us this season, we won't be seeing those errors in defense. And yes, Barca are a very aggressive team, pressing, as you mentioned, Fermin Lopez is pressing. That will be tricky, especially against some of our players. I think Gusto, when he is getting pressed, he is not the best at handling those situations. He'll just pass the ball and it'll go to someone else on the other team. But he is playing higher up on the pitch, probably, most likely in the midfield, so it may not matter as much.
And
just wanna
just
Yeah,
to
you
mention
add
didn't
on
that.
to that,
mention.
I just want to mention about the Lamine comment. I just want you to know that last season he had more UCL goals than Chelsea last season. So that's what we
Yeah,
keep in mind.
fast. You guys
So
mentioned his
now,
9 league goals. Were you talking about Palmer's 9 month droughts without goals, open play goals? And also, suddenly when he's playing Barca and Arsenal, suddenly he breaks his toe. So I think
okay,
he's ducking the smoke.
okay.
Sorry, just to conclude that, I don't think Palmer's ever ducked a smoke against a big team. We've seen it here very live. Again, I want to mention this because I've been saying this team a lot. PSG, we've seen it a lot. I don't think Palmer is the one to say that. I don't think Palmer is one to honestly duck a big game. We've seen how he's bossed around top teams. So I don't know. That comment seems kind of baseless.
So wait, I have a
Teams? Can
question.
you
You
mention the
keep you
teams?
keep wait, you keep bringing up that PSG game. Like, don't you think it's a bit shameless? It was in the Club World Cup. Like, I don't really think PSG took that tournament seriously. Like, I don't know.
Wait, then
We
why would
No,
they go all the way?
Harvard,
Wait,
let me
wait.
get this one. Get this one.
Okay,
Let me get this one.
okay.
So we clearly see at the end how head lost Enrique
Oh
was,
yeah.
going up and slapping players. Donnarumma, of all people, even having to hold back his coach. And we've definitely seen Hakimi, a player who's very, very chill, getting mad that when Reece James took the ball off him 2 times in a row, he straight up came up and started trying to boss him around. So I don't know about that base where PSG weren't really trying to win the trophy. And even just saying it's a preseason cup is kind of shameless as well. As we have seen, it has the second most viewership of any competition since the 2022
I
World
don't think
Cup.
that's true.
I
Okay.
don't think that statement's.
I
I
also
don't
want
think
to talk
that's
about
true, but
that. That
It is
statement
that.
of PSG not taking the tournament seriously is completely baseless and an agenda, because why would they use their like best 11 for every game to get to the final? If they weren't taking it serious, they'd be rotating players and not taking it serious and um probably going out in the earlier stages. Because if they weren't taking it serious, they played the same amount of games as Chelsea, who were taking it serious for sure. So I don't really understand that agenda statement, but yeah.
Okay, on a more serious note, I just want to say that. So you're talking about like the like whole Lamine Yamal and like the defense thing. So I mean, yeah, we'll see like Lamine Yamal versus Kukurea. I think that'll be a very interesting matchup. Two La Masia players, and I mean, I guess like I'm not sure if Rashford doesn't start, then I feel like most of the attack from Barca will come from the right side. So I think a lot of the plays will run through Lamine Yamal, and like it's going to be up to his individual brilliance and his playmaking on how Barcelona really create their chances. But I kind of feel like in this game we'll see Barcelona create more chances and be more aggressive with the ball and like press more. Even though it's like Chelsea have like good players as well. Like you said, Caicedo is very good at pressing. Enzo's covering like most of the field. I don't from what I've seen like more Barca than Chelsea, but I feel like with Barca, there's very good at keeping possession, just even like beating the press. So I feel like someone like De Jong, I think he can easily beat a midfield that has Caicedo and Enzo. So I think it'll be very interesting. And if Chelsea do make a lot of errors, I feel like Barca are gonna easily like benefit off it, and like it can even turn into a very high scoring game for Barca. So yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Okay, I heard you talk a lot about Frankie de Jong, and I even heard a comparison. Why
Yo,
not
yo.
get
Yeah.
this segment
Okay. What?
moved on to a combined 11 now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess
That's
guys, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I guess we can move on. Let the game talk. So yeah, let's go to our combined 11. Let's start at the goalkeeper spot. I think this is pretty obvious.
the
I
easy.
think it's Joan
it's
Garcia.
very obvious.
Now, if this was 6 months
No,
ago,
no, no. Don't
again,
even
no,
argue,
just hear me
man.
out.
What are we
Just hear
doing?
me out. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I just want to give flowers to Robert Sanchez. Again, I hear it. 6 months ago, this would have been a clean sweep for Joan Garcia. Again, I am voting for Joan
Still
Garcia here,
is.
but you do have to say you've definitely seen the improvement for Robert Sanchez. It's not like it's not as blown out the water as you truly think it is. There are shouts
No,
for Robert Sanchez here.
no, there definitely isn't. But yeah,
I
I
this is
guess
think
we can
easily
do
this is easily
to keep
Joan
it
no. I
fair. I
Garcia.
think
guess we can do. I just wanted to say so to keep it fair. I guess we can do a voting system just to
no
keep
bias
it
though.
I
No
mean,
unbiased.
it's
bias.
Yeah,
three
no bias,
Barca
no
fans
bias.
versus
Three
But I
four
want to
Barca
say
Barcelona.
fans.
Trust me, we'll be not biased. We'll not be biased.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we won't.
So yeah,
Okay.
obviously, my vote goes to Joan Garcia.
No, yeah, it's definitely Joan Garcia,
I think
It's
it's
clean
a
definitely
sweep
Joan
John
here.
clean.
Garcia.
Green
He's a
But
sweep,
I'm just
but
saying,
Okay.
there
Clean
there
sweep.
is a
I'll
shout for
I'll give
Sanchez.
credit to Sanchez though. I think from what I've been hearing, he's been getting better. So
Okay. Let's move on to right back. So in my opinion, last season this would be a clean sweep, but recently I think it's up
What?
for more debate. I think Kunde has been poor this season. I think the recent game against Bilbao, he's picked up a lot of form. I think he did really good. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Nah,
Yeah,
this
I
is
think
that's
Yeah,
kind of the
100%.
same
I don't think
situation
Kunde's
here.
been on good form. So my vote
I
would
think
have
it
to
was
go
Eric.
to.
I think Eric right back. It'd be Eric for sure. Like in this combined
The
11.
You just were saying though
But
that Eric makes center back or a DM,
no, I
but
know. I
then
was just
why
saying
you
if
put the
because
right
Eric
back?
has played right back before, like in the season. So I was saying if it was Eric versus Reece James, I go Eric. But to this Kunde versus Reece James,
Yeah.
I still go Kunde, but I think it's very close.
Yeah,
It's
No,
it's
it's
definitely Reece
not
James.
close.
It's not really a competition this season. Koundé has just been shown to be error prone and just get destroyed in big games, especially. And while Reece James has just been world class this season, he's a captain. He can show leadership. He leads the team, and he's just been amazing offensively and defensively as well. And it's just 100% Reece. It's not a it's not
He's
a
one of the
I
most
wouldn't
close
agree with
battle at
that. I
he's,
all.
wouldn't agree.
I wouldn't say
he's one
that.
of
I
the
think
most no no time out. He's one of the most complete players in the world right now. You
no.
have
Okay,
to
no.
admit, if you want someone with passing, you go Reece James. If you want someone to do defending,
No, no, no,
go
no.
I
Let's
would
Lamine
not go Reece
disagree.
James.
James. If
I
you
would
would
not go
want
Reece James.
someone that pardon?
I would not go Reece James for passing.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. All right. Yo, I
as a
think we
complete
move on,
footballer.
bro.
I think
As
yeah,
a
we can move on. Let's do our
I
votes.
think we move.
So I think last season, if this was last season, it would be easily Kunde. But again, because of this poor form, I will edge it to Reece James.
Reece James
yeah,
for
I think
sure.
for
last
season.
season this was easily Kunde, but like we
Giving
saw in the
shouts for
Madrid
last
game,
season is
Kunde's
kind
been
of
very
shameless.
poor so far. So I would give it to Reece James.
I mean, I go
Yep.
Kunde, but I guess Reece James wins the round.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to our center backs. So I think let's start with the right center back. I'm gonna go with Kubarsi.
I would have to go with
I'm,
Fofana here.
I mean, when Eric
I'm
played,
definitely going with Wesley Fofana. Whenever he plays, he is just amazing. Um, and I think putting a left-footed center back at right center back also doesn't make much sense. Well, Wesley
He's one of the
Fofana's natural
most
position,
yeah, I was gonna say Eric Garcia usually is the right center back if he's
yeah.
like playing at the back.
If he is, yeah,
But
I'm just
if
not
we
too
don't
sure
know
if he's
what's
gonna
gonna
play
happen,
midfield
right?
or not.
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna really happen. I think it's fair to put Eric versus whoever, like Fofana, right? Eric versus Fofana. I think that's more of a fair matchup.
Okay, if it's Eric, then yeah, I'm taking Eric Garcia.
Yeah,
you'd
we've
have to
seen
go
Eric
Fofana
Garcia
here.
just not really have a good season. As we saw that penalty,
Oh wait, okay,
What are you
no.
talking about?
Okay,
What are
we
you
saw
talking
him
okay.
about?
I
give
don't
away
know.
that penalty against I don't even remember the team, to be honest, because
So
La Liga.
have we
So
even
I
seen
think this
Fofana play this
just
season? I don't remember a single performance.
Yeah,
Fofana
but you
has
don't really
been
watch many games,
they
so
don't really watch. Oh my god.
yeah.
We've seen the game versus Tottenham.
On a serious
We've seen the
note,
game versus Tottenham. How much he's bossed around the likes of Kudus. Kudus couldn't do anything that game. Kolo Muani had to get hooked that game. We've even seen the likes of Sar there. Couldn't do anything.
That's
Oh,
great
he gave them.
competition, man. Good job.
dude, Spurs are
Pardon?
sorry. That's like old news.
That's still a top six Premier
But on
League
a
team. They
serious note,
haven't been
okay,
sorry this game. Okay, so
I
moving on from the likes of Tottenham, then we could even go to a Champions League game like Ajax. He came in
Ajax are
immediately
last place
got a
right now in the
teammate.
Champions League. Ajax are last place
Wow,
right now in the
man.
Champions League.
Good
What
stuff, man.
You want to compare Garcia to the one good game one big team he played, which was PSG. What happened there?
I'm just saying. I think with this season, Eric has been Barca's best defender. Not, I mean, second place probably like Baldy or something. I'm not too sure. I feel like Barca's defense overall hasn't been too great, especially with the loss of Inigo Martinez. But no, I definitely think Eric Garcia takes it. I think he's definitely one of the best defenders in the world right now, and he's also very versatile. Like any
Okay,
position you give
wait.
him, he'll play it and he'll do a
Okay,
good
I have
job.
a question, Bridges.
Yeah, yeah.
You discredit Fofana's great
Okay,
games
I
against
didn't.
the likes of
Okay,
no
okay.
no you discredit the likes of Fofana against the teams he's played.
I
But
say we move on.
realistically, I don't think you can name a team that is outperforming Tottenham or Ajax in La Liga right now that Eric Garcia put up a great shift against. You cannot say the likes of Real Madrid because again he didn't do that good that game, as well as losing on top of that. I don't know. There's not really any good teams you can mention that outclass what Wesley Fofana did against Spurs.
No, I think I think most La Liga games that Barca played, Eric Garcia has been the best defender for Barca, and
And
he's
it's been
put in
vice
good
versa for
performances.
Fofana.
Sorry?
And it's been vice versa for Fofana. Fofana when
I
played
mean,
has
I
been our
mean, did you
best
guys
center
not
back.
mention that Chelsea are very error prone on the defense?
Yeah, but
There
that's
has
not
not
Wesley
been
Fofana. That's
Fofana's
more
fault.
like
He's
Chalaba
been our bright
Tosin.
spot.
I mean, okay, even if Vaughn's not a consistent starter either, I feel like
He is a
Edgar Garcia is
consistent
more
He is.
starter.
No,
consistent.
no, he
He
is.
is?
He's a very
He is
consistent.
our consistent part.
When he is fit, he will be starting for us. He is fit. I'm not sure why he wasn't in the squad today. I think that might just
He's
be
definitely
rest. I'm
getting
actually not
rested
sure, to
for
be honest.
Barcelona.
I don't get why he wasn't in the squad at all. But when he is fit, he is starting for Chelsea for sure.
I think the combined 11, Eric Garcia is starting. It's
Yeah,
my
Okay, I
then we should
opinion.
move
I
mean
on
we're
think
to
he's
gonna
our
good.
host.
disagree but a lot, but I guess let's nominate two players and let's see who's most common. So I'm gonna nominate uh, Eric Garcia and Kubarsi.
Okay,
Okay,
I
I'll
would
go, I guess. So I think I definitely agree with Griffith's point. I think Eric Garcia is easily our best center back this season. So Eric Garcia is a lock, I think. For the second center back, I mean our defense has been too great, but I would still go Kubarsi. I don't think Fofana is that good. Like I don't know where this like PR is coming from, but yeah.
you
Okay,
can't
yeah,
even name a
the
single
PR
game
comes from
played.
watching games, but okay, so the thing is, like Barca just concedes practically every game. I know they didn't concede today, but we've seen Chelsea past three Premier League games. They've had three clean sheets, and our defense, I think overall, we've just conceded less in general than Barca. So our defense definitely has been better this season. So it would, but whatever. I'm just gonna nominate Wesley Fofana, and then left center back, I'll just say Kubarsi.
Now, here's interesting for me. I would definitely start Fofana on the left and Eric Garcia on the right. I know there's no natural left-footed center back, but when you see the class between the two, it's kind of hard to just pit one of them over the other. Why not just play two good playing center backs? Also, Deshaun, just to kind of throw you on the mud here, but the last podcast I was in, you blatantly admit you have watched little to no Chelsea games. So it's kind of interesting to
When
see
did I
you
say that? When did I say that?
the during the Chelsea interview versus Karabakh.
So what did I say?
You said when I asked you what have you thought of the Chelsea game and their season so far, you blatantly said haven't watched
No,
much
no,
of
no. So
Chelsea.
you're simply mistaken. I said I didn't watch the Karabakh game because I was watching another Champions League game. So yeah, just to
Mhm.
clear up your concern.
Okay, should we move on? Or
Yeah,
like,
let's move on to left back.
Okay.
wait, who's the left center back? Who's the left
Honest.
center back?
Okay, yeah, left center back.
Oh,
Who'd you guys?
I didn't vote
You
yet.
guys, who'd
I
you
didn't
vote
vote
Just
for?
yet.
put Kubarsi, man. Just
Okay,
put it Kubarsi.
no, okay. I usually would, but just to like give preview, I guess. Okay, Eric Garcia for sure, right center back, and then Hayden said Fofana. I'll put Fofana there. I think Kubarsi probably is better. I think Kubarsi's been a bit disappointing this season. Like last season was very good, and this season I don't think he's been as good. I wish we see more of his ball playing ability and like how elite he is at that. So yeah, I'll pity vote
We go
Fofana, I
to
guess.
left back.
Yeah, let's go to left back. Honestly, I think these are some of the best left backs in the world. I think they're just behind Nuno Mendes. But in my personal opinion, I think when Baldy's at his best, he's pretty much unstoppable. He can just control his own left flank completely. We see how good he is attacking wise. But even though I think another thing about him, I think defensive wise, when he's tracking back and he's making tackles, I think he's actually underrated in that regard because we've seen him like pocket many wingers today, even today when Nico Williams went to his side. I think he had a great performance against Nico Williams. So yeah, my vote would stick with Balde, but it is close. Kukurea is pretty good.
Okay, so now I'll be talking about Kukurea. I do believe Kukurea is better than Balde, and he starts over him for the country. Balde doesn't even get called up, while Kukurea is playing 90s every game. And we saw in the Euros. Well, I think Balde was injured during then, so that is a bit of shameless to bring up. But looking at Kukurea's performances for Chelsea, wait 1 second, hate them cover for me.
Yeah. So just talking about Kukureya's performances, even in Champions League, as much as people would love to trash on him because of how funny he is in games, but I don't think statistically there hasn't been a single winger that has dribbled past him on numerous occasions. People would argue Olise, but we've clearly seen in that game how Olise just passes into open space behind him and doesn't continue much from there. Again, we've seen Kukureya lock up considered some of the greatest right wingers on the planet, from the likes of Saka to Salah to Olise. The list continues. All I'm going to say is here on collectively, everyone can agree Kukurea has been Spain's bright spot. He's been there. He's honestly
I
been their
don't. I
starter.
don't.
No one
I
Okay,
don't
agrees with
okay,
that.
co-sign. I
wait,
don't
okay, wait.
co-sign
Can I
that.
talk? Okay, so I want to talk
Yeah.
about Kukureya's performances for Chelsea. As we saw in that Burnley game, he was so important for that first goal. Not only is he amazing defensively, pocketing almost every winger he plays against. That Olise performance, yes, I don't think Olise really dribbled against him much, but Kukureya was, I think, going a little bit too forward and leaving open space behind him. But I don't really. I think people do kind of exaggerate saying Kukureya got destroyed, even though Olise didn't really dribble past him. And Olise also admitted that Marc Cucurella is the hardest, the best left back he's ever played against. But looking at that Chelsea performance, Cucurella was so amazing offensively as well. Looking at that first goal, that run he made into the open space on the left side of the Burnley box was so important. He controls the ball beautifully, does amazing hold up play to give it to Gittins, and then that leads to Gittins, whatever. That leads to our goal. He's so important, not just offensively, not just defensively, but offensively, getting GAs as well and scoring in very important goals for us. Especially last season, he was scoring game winners, such as the game winner against Manchester United, game winner against Leicester City, and we've known he has a great left foot as well. He can shoot from outside the box. He can cross, as we saw in that amazing cross in the Euro final for Yarzabal. And yeah, I'm gonna vote Kukureya for sure.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So I think bombing forward and like whipping in crosses, just attacking wise, I think Balde is definitely better than Kukurea in that aspect.
All day crossing,
One,
yeah.
the one that I remember the most is in the Madrid game when he crossed it to Lewandowski. And then defending wise, I think Balde's defending is actually very underrated, but I think just because of Kukurea's experience, I would give that to him. But if I had to pick one player to be my team tomorrow, I think it would definitely be Balde.
And that's why De La Fuente picked Balde, right?
I
That's very
think.
shameless to
That's a
bring
bad
up.
idea.
Okay. I think with these two, one is more defensive oriented and the other is more offensively oriented. I think going
What?
forward, Balde. I think Balde
Huh?
is a bit more scary just because of his pace and just even today, this guy's insane. He just dribbles past everyone and it's like so fast. No one really catch up with him. And I mean, I'm trying to talk about strictly this season, not like I'm not gonna bring up last season stuff or like stuff before that because I think it's kind of unfair. But I don't know. I think I would give it to Balde slightly. I think Balde is so good. I think his attribute of just pace and dribbling as a left back is something that we rarely see. I mean, the other player I can really think of that has that is like Alphonso Davies. So I think it's with those attributes. I think like it's more helpful, especially for I think it works a lot more for Barca's system rather than like something like Spain's system because Barca are obviously like, way more attacking minded. While Spain, I mean, I think for Spain, Cucurella does fit a bit better. I think that's why Balder's not really called up. So I wouldn't use that argument too much. I feel like that's more of a tactical thing, not really like who's a better player. Because even last season we saw that he didn't like call up Inigo Martinez or like he didn't play him basically. He didn't start Inigo Martinez. So even though he was having like a very very good season, so yeah, I wouldn't use the Spain as an argument really. I just think like looking at both the players, I think Balde this season just been better. I would have him on starting.
Yeah, once again, even after today, we saw Balde get subbed off at halftime, so he might be injured. Hopefully not. But again, if it is Jared Martina left back, I would honestly debate it, but I'll
Babe.
pick
It was
Kukurea.
easily Jared Martinez.
If it was Jared Martin, I would pick
Easily.
Kukurea. But yeah, I think
Okay, I think we
Balde
should move on
slots
to
in at
midfield.
left back. Yeah, let's go to
Uh,
midfield.
okay,
I think
so
we're playing a
Wait,
double
so
pivot, right? And a
Balde
cam.
starts left back.
Yeah, we have Balde starting at left back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty obvious though, but
yeah, that's
So
why
are
I
we
did La
playing two
Fuente.
pivots and a cam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing only fit players, right? Not like.
Yeah.
I mean, does Pedri
Let's.
count?
I would not count it. I don't think he's starting now.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't
So
even touch the field today.
instant lock, no debate. We are obviously going to say
I mean,
Caicedo.
you had red card. And he wasn't laughing.
Yeah, Caicedo
Yeah.
for sure makes it. I think this guy is just
Instant lock.
he's just a monster, man. He's literally just a Conte regen, and we can also see this season he has been adding GA to his game, which I think is very important, scoring important goals against Brentford and Liverpool, and he's just been adding goals and assists to his game. I think he's already scored more goals this season than he did in his past like 2 seasons or something, which is crazy considering we're only like 3 months into the season. So I think Caicedo definitely slots into this combined XI.
Were you about to say Casado? I kind of heard a bit of a.
All right, just move on, bro.
Unless it was just me. Okay,
Yeah.
since Pedri is excluded, I would go. I think Dion for sure is like in the pivot, and then I'll go Caicedo, I guess. along him because
Santos
Yeah,
is
I'll do the
definitely
same thing
out
exactly like
against
Josh.
FPJ.
Oh yeah, so I would go De Jong and Caicedo. I think De Jong is
Oh
very
my.
underrated, and people don't like really rate him that much. I don't know why, but with the absence of Pedri, we've seen him perform. So yeah, I would definitely go De Jong and Caicedo.
Yeah,
So
if I would
Ethan, what
have to
was your
say
vote?
again, I would have to say, realistically, I would love to give a full shout out to Santos here. He's been an amazing
Oh,
player.
I think you should
Um,
just move on, bro.
hear me
Wait,
out,
no,
man.
okay.
Stay
We
with
haven't
me.
even talked about Enzo Fernandez yet. So
So I would
oh, you
just say,
guys
I
could mention
already
that,
know
but
I already
I
know
don't
who's
think it's a
going to
debate.
10. I already know who's going to
considering how Palmer's been out, and Enzo hasn't been playing that 8 role he normally has, we've seen the likes of Santos there, and my God, this guy's a monster. Especially this game against Burnley, the way he was
You're
scooping up
taking one
balls.
game into
One
like
game, he's
you're taking
definitely
one
done it
game.
before too, but okay, I'm just giving a recent example. How this game, man of the match performance. He's won all the balls he's faced. He literally was scooping up everything.
Okay, I
Missed
guess we
just
can
2
move on.
passes.
I
We
think
have
no,
I
to
wait,
think
give a
okay.
shout.
Casado
I don't
I
think
think
we didn't talk about
Casado
Enzo Fernandez in the pivot. I think Enzo Fernandez has been
no.
amazing this season and has completely silenced the haters that were criticizing his transfer price.
Haven't heard anyone
Um,
talk about it recently.
And yeah, no one mentions it anymore because he's completely just been amazing. So looking at even the performance today, he's been amazing at box crashing, but also he can control a midfield as we've seen against Wolves. And he's just such a versatile midfielder and has amazing footwork as well, which I think is such an underrated aspect of him. I think it should be Enzo Caicedo midfield, but I'm gonna let their bias win
Dude,
this.
it's not biased.
Yeah,
And I
De
think
Jong
Frankie
simply
De Jong
stepped
does
up.
have discipline issues, even though he is earning 700K a week, which is
The
slightly
that
Caicedo
is
not
he's
get
a
a
So
red
wait,
team
but
card.
we're
false
not.
start.
The
So
Caicedo
Team
wait,
not
wait,
get a
wait.
false
red
start.
card.
Harmon. For the pivot, we're just gonna say De Jong and Caicedo, but we realistically this game we do know for Barca, Enzo is gonna be the one to play in the 10 spot.
We'll
I don't know
see.
if that's
Okay,
100%
we'll
true,
But
see.
yeah,
but
He
I ask you a
will.
cool
He
question.
definitely will
Has
play in the
Enzo
10.
performed against a big team this season? Because like you keep mentioning Burnley and Wolves, but that
yeah,
doesn't like
he
He's
was amazing
performed
against
against so many big.
he was amazing against Liverpool and Tottenham. So I
so
mean, I don't
like I mean
really
they're not really that good this season, but I mean if that's your
This
level,
was
I guess we
before
can move on.
Liverpool
I
went
guess we
into
can move
that
on
huge
to
drought.
the 10.
No, why are we
Move
I
on to
moving
the
on?
mean,
Why are
10.
we moving on? Why are we moving on? You asked a good question. Now this is
Okay,
before
move on
Liverpool
to it.
moved on to that huge drought where they've just been in nonstop losses. I think right before Chelsea played them, they only had like 2 losses the entire season. We definitely seen
That's
Enzo that game. He was amazing that game. He created amazing chances. He had some amazing long balls that game. He was splitting passes. He made so many chances for Neto and Garnacho. It was unfortunate that they couldn't finish either of them. But we literally saw that game how valuable it is to have Enzo as our playmaker. Even in
and
games like Ajax and thing against Benfica, again we haven't really played like much big teams this season. It's only
yeah,
been like 2 months in, but we've definitely seen how important Enzo has been for us since Palmer's been injured. He's been
yeah,
our main playmaker, and he's just even off the ball too. The way he presses, the way he tries his hardest to win the ball back, and he still does win the ball back when he attempts it. Enzo has been world class for us, honestly. I would definitely say he's been our top 3 player this season.
I just
yeah.
want
And
to
I
quickly
think
mention.
oh
I just want to quickly mention before we wrap this like part up. I don't think any Chelsea midfielder has the technical ability or the ball carrying ability that De Jong has. I think De Jong is superior in both those aspects. I think overall De Jong is, excluding Pedri, De Jong is the best midfielder between both teams.
What?
And I can't wait for that De Jong turn versus Caicedo when he owns Caicedo. So
okay, yeah, and I
I'm
think
hyped for that.
that big team point can also be worked for Barcelona as well. Barcelona have not performed in any of the big games they've played this season. Against Real Madrid, they completely fell apart, where their best midfielder in the world completely fell apart and had a horrible performance. And against PSG as well, Frankie De Jong, I don't even know if he played, to be
Did he
honest.
get hooked
Pedri
that
was good in that game, to be
game?
fair. Huh?
I just want to bring up the
Young did
Madrid
get hooked
point.
that
So
game.
De
He
Jong
was
actually had the most
joking.
completed passes made in that game. I don't know where this
That
agenda
that's
comes
that
from.
does not
Sideways
mean
passes and
that does
backwards
not mean
passes.
anything. That's just
No, I'll give
that's
Hartman the benefit of
Center
the doubt
backs have,
there. I don't
it's
think
usually center
Madrid. I
backs.
think Madrid, Barca didn't play well at all. But just outside those games, like De Jong's been so consistent,
you can
and
say the
like
exact
even the
same for
use.
Enzo Fernandez. I think that just nullifies Push's
This is just La
No, but
Liga
I just
time.
think if you look at the ability of both players, then De Jong's just more to his game. I think De Jong
No,
is
Enzo definitely has more to his game, and Caicedo definitely has more to his game than Frankie De Jong.
okay.
But
Like what? Like what?
I think technical ability wise, De Jong is definitely better than Caicedo. Even though I think Caicedo's technical ability is very
It's so
underrated.
underrated.
But Enzo Fernandez's passing and footwork, I think is just no one points it out for some reason. I
No,
just
De
don't really
Jong's
get why.
Even his
footwork is
defensive work, even his
it's a
defensive
delight.
work rate, and how much he works to get the ball
I
back.
know we're talking about
You
technical. We're
definitely
talking about
see.
technical.
Okay, well, pardon.
We're talking about technical ability right now.
Okay, technical ability too. We definitely see with Enzo. Oh my God, that game against Benfica, I saw like levels to what Enzo was doing. Whenever he got pressed, he was instantly able to get the ball away. He was so proven that game. I was honestly seeing flashes to like Lavia. Like I literally saw no difference to him.
Alright.
Why are you
Yo,
Flashes of
laughing?
Lavia.
I don't know.
Flashes of Lavia. What a
They
No,
don't
no,
watch games.
Lavia. Yeah, it's okay. Lavia is honestly one of the best
funny.
press resistant midfielders. It's just unfortunate that the guy is made of glass. On his day,
Yeah.
I do think he could even start for Chelsea. When he is fit, but he never is, so we can't really bring him up. It's just even though I do think he's a good midfielder and has very high potential, it just doesn't make sense for us to bring him up because he is never available.
I mean, yeah, I can argue Enzo for Cam, but I think the double pivot right now should be De Jong and Caicedo. I think that's
I
Yeah, I
fine.
mean,
think we're gonna argue about this
my
too much.
intentions was
I think we
never
should
to
move on.
argue. My intentions was to never argue Enzo in the double pivot. He's definitely going to get started as a 10 for sure against the Barcelona
So
game.
why are we yapping about
I
it?
think we should move on to that, and we'll see right now.
Yeah, let's go to
Okay, all
Cam.
right, let's just go, man. Just okay, all right. Put
You already
Fermin
hear it.
Lopez. I vote Enzo. Vote Fermin.
I vote Enzo.
Now I know you guys are mad for some reason, but it's okay. For me, Lopez
I
did
mean,
reject
it's
you. I know you're a bit mad, but if we just look
he
at
wouldn't even
Firmino in
start.
general, forget that. No one starts for you. Okay, whatever. So yeah, let's look at Fermin Lopez. This season he's been a revelation, continuing on from last season. Every time he plays for this team, he acts as our main attacking threat from the midfield. He's a great passer, as we know, and those attacking runs that he makes, I think they're really important for this team, especially with the absence of Rafinha and other guys. So I think for me, Lopez, even like he was weak foot, I think they're both strong. I think he has a good shot on him. So hopefully he does score against Chelsea. And overall, if we look at players, I would personally take Fermin Lopez over Enzo Fernandez at the cam
Wow.
position.
Okay, realistically,
Wow.
at the 10 position, I think I also, well, obviously Palmer would, if Palmer was in this conversation, it would be different. But I would actually, at a 10 position, to be unbiased, I will be picking Fermin Lopez because I do think Enzo Fernandez, while
Thank you.
yes, he's a great player at the 10, I think he is at his best when he is in the double pivot, and then going forward when when a fullback inverts. But yeah, I'll vote Fermin Lopez because he has been great this season.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah.
is just easily for me. Like, I don't think there's any competition, but yeah.
Okay,
He's
I'll
very
say there
safe.
is competition.
No
I think there
competition at
is.
all.
No, I'll give flowers to Enzo. I think Enzo is definitely a good midfielder. I mean, but I think with Fermin, I think Fermin this season has such a strong start, and I think just attacking wise, I think he's like one of the scariest players you can play right now in Europe. I think he's that scary. He got the hat trick in the UCL, so yeah, I don't know. I just think for me right now, just a better player at the cam. I think he's also a very good playmaker. He's very good at press, like very good at pressing, and he usually is the one to kind of make the other defense make mistakes so that Barca can take advantage and like try to score. So I'll go for Firmino with this one, but I do think it's closer than people think it is.
Yeah, I think with Firmino, he's not that usual La Masia midfielder. He's almost like a disruptor. We know guys like Gavi and stuff, they're more controllers. They try to control the ball as much as they can. But I feel like Firmino is different. I think he tries to take charge of the game. He tries to shoot a lot. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he does with Chelsea. But overall, yeah, I vote for Firmino as well.
Should we move on
Right wing,
to the
right wing.
wings?
I think the
Right
wing will be
wing.
like okay.
Okay, I'll
No
go
bias,
first.
right?
So,
No bias, right?
okay, I do think right wing, yes, Yamal had a great season last season, but Yamal was injured for a lot of the season while Esteval has been fully fit for a majority of the season except for like one absence against Bayern. I do think if we're just talking about this season's form, Esteval has been amazing, and I think he has been better than Lamine Yamal. Because I think
This
Lamine
is a
Yamal has
joke.
shown
This is
that
a
he
joke.
cannot perform in big games as of recent, such as the PSG game where he talked a lot, Real Madrid game where he talked a lot, and then that Portugal game where they were just horrendous performances
You
from
can't
Lamine
count the
Yamal.
Portugal game. You can't count that.
Okay, I'm just talking about big game for his last 3 big games.
The other big games, every other big game he's
I
performed.
mean, it's kind of hard to
Esteval,
mention.
I mean,
No,
yes, you
it's
can
kind
count.
of hard to mention minutes when comparing Esteval to Yamal,
Yeah,
considering we
that's
were
true.
allowing the Balde and Cucurella debate as well. So it's kind of a gray area there.
Yeah, and Esteval, if we look at his prem minutes, it's just nothing because he comes off the bench almost every game. He didn't even play today because Neto was playing. But I don't think minutes have to do anything with this. But I think Esteval has just been amazing this season. We haven't really seen him play in a big game. Yes, Liverpool is considered a big game, but they just haven't been looking good. And he was off the bench, but it was an amazing performance off the bench. So I'm actually very excited for him to put in a big game performance against Barcelona, and hopefully he performs and outperforms Jamal.
Wait, can I just mention
Yeah,
something?
you.
You said, sorry, can I say something quickly?
Yeah,
So you
go.
just said right now that Liverpool is not a big game, but then in our previous
Yeah, I'm saying,
arguments before, you used that example as a big game.
I
So
said, yeah, they usually are considered a big game, but they're just not in great form.
no, but then I think Hatham maybe argued that for Enzo, Liverpool's a big game
Yeah,
or
at
something.
the time when they played, they were
No, you can
it
talk to
wasn't like
Haytham.
really.
I
At
mean,
the
I don't.
time, at the
I
time
mean,
when
your
they
other,
played,
your
that
other, the other
currently
Chelsea
they
fans
are.
saying that's not a big game. But
I mean,
even then,
I don't know.
okay,
I would
it's
still
okay.
no. It's still a big game. When it's such a big game, form can go out the window at any point. It doesn't really matter. Like even in the Chelsea Tottenham game, while Chelsea were in pretty good form just goes out the windows in big games like that. I think,
Okay,
unless it's like
fair
horrible
enough.
form. But like that Liverpool Chelsea game was very intense. Both teams were definitely playing to win. And that Esteval performance, he was completely ripping apart. I don't even remember who was at left back. He was completely ripping apart left back. He did score a winning goal. It wasn't the greatest looking goal, but it was a winner. And he can show that he shows that he has great positioning. He can take on his man. He's amazing passing. He just has so much to his game. And I think he's had an amazing season, and I'd put him over Yamal just based off this season alone.
Okay,
have to
no,
give
okay,
credit to
no.
Cucurella on that goal too.
Esteval is definitely talented, no doubt. But he's not as talented as Lamine Yamal. I think Lamine Yamal right now is the best attacker in the world. I think that he's the best dribbler in the world, the best playmaker in the world. I don't think any player besides maybe like Pedri, well, actually definitely Pedri. Only Pedri can really talk about like potentially being an all-timer right now. I think Lamine Yamal is just.
Wow.
I think it's so much.
So what?
I mean,
Mbappe? He's not all timer.
I generally
Haaland's
okay.
not an
That's another
all-timer.
conversation. That's a conversation for another time. But I think Lamine definitely has more potential than Esteval, and I think Lamine Yamal's already way better than Esteval. And I will admit, I think it was like the injury and stuff, and Lamine didn't perform versus Madrid or PSG. I think those are very disappointing. But even as of recently, Lamine, ever since he broke up with Nicky Nicole, I think Lamine just been a demon. He's a different player. He's getting G every game. Today, he got 2 assists, both great assists, like 2 of the best assists you'll see this season. So easily Lamine Yamal. This should not be a debate. I don't know why we're
Yeah,
talking
even
about
even with when he was dating Nicky Nicole, he was still performing in those small games. So I would like to see it without
Okay,
him
I
being in a
don't know why we're
relationship.
talking about Nicky and Cole right now, but yeah,
Oh,
I
because you can
think
clearly see
this
that
debate,
his form was different.
whatever, forget that. But I think this debate between Esteval and Lamine Yamal, I think it's just silly. I think every time Yamal performs, I think
So
he's
it's
compared to
just too
another player.
difficult.
We had Due, we had Endrick, we had a lot of other players. But I just feel it's nowhere near. Like you mentioned, Esteval this season, he hasn't even had like half the minutes Yamal's played, even though Yamal's been injured. Yamal has 10 G in 9 games. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't really know how minutes have to do with anything.
Well, it
Because you
shows
mentioned
how
this season
consistent you are.
specifically.
No, but you
Yeah,
guys
but what
want
do they
to
have to do
argue
with
about
anything?
minutes, but then the debate with Cucurella and Balde when it comes to minutes and fitness and all that, it goes out the window suddenly.
How
It's
though?
just
Because Balde has been pretty fit this season, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
no, I mean like with minutes in general. He hasn't completely played
What?
like you know what?
That
Never mind.
wasn't our main argument for that debate. So I don't see what you're saying.
Yeah, the main argument for that debate was mostly bias, but I think the minutes
No,
argument for Esteval doesn't really make much sense considering that is just
Oh,
like
so this
he
is not
can't control
biased.
that.
Nice.
I mean,
What he can't control
if we
that.
can
Yeah, he
allow
can't control that.
Balde to get over Cucurella, surely Esteban gets over Yamal.
no,
This is a joke.
dude.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
It's not a joke. It's off based
So,
It
off
is.
the actual player.
yeah, go now. So
Whatever. I think we
this
can
is
just put the
just.
Yamal in the bag. I think. Yeah, Piyush, go ahead.
I think this is just very obvious. Like I don't know why this debate's happening. I think this is
Yeah, this
easily
is a
Yamal.
corrupt
But
hierarchy.
there's a lot of Chelsea fans talking. Like this is one video where they keep saying who is Yamal, and like I don't really get the point of that. And I'm excited to see Yamal's performance on Tuesday. I think we'll see a lot of agendas being
I think
made.
we need
But
to
yeah.
wait till Tuesday because these guys are gonna argue forever. So yeah, let's move on to our left winger. I think this season, if Rashford's fit, I think he's gonna start. But yeah, I think he has been one of our best attackers this season, especially with our injuries with Yamal and Rafinha. So honestly, yeah, I would put Rashford in there for me.
I'll agree. I don't think Gittins has been good enough, especially in the Prem. Today was a good performance, but I don't think Gittins has been good enough. Garnacho, while he has played, I actually think Garnacho has impressed me a lot. I wasn't very happy with the signing at first, but he has impressed me. He's been a bit of a GA monster, but it has to be Rashford.
Okay, I'll go. So I think this is definitely Rashford. For me, I think he's definitely a top 3 signing of the summer so far. I think he's been very good for us. So yeah, I think this is definitely Rashford.
Yeah, I think Rashford for sure should be. I think he just I think especially with Barcelona, I think he's been the best set piece taker for Barcelona. I think he's been very important in that like realm, and he just gets a lot of GA. I think he's very good in general. I think the only small flaw, I guess, is just I think his finishing could be a lot better. I think sometimes he does waste chances or he doesn't finish the ball as well as he could. So I think once he like improves that, I think he'll be like unstoppable.
Yeah, I think on Rashford, I think he has been one of our best attackers. I think, especially in the Champions League, we've seen how he has big performances, especially against what's it called, Newcastle. We had that big
Newcastle.
goal. So yeah, I think Rashford slots into this position. But let's move on to our last position. It's gonna be interesting. Our striker for this team.
Oh,
Joao Pedro.
For striker, okay. This all really I don't know. Lewandowski has been injured for a good amount, but when we do see he does score against the farmer teams, I don't know. I do want to see Lewandowski in a big game. I don't know if he played any of them. I think it was Ferran against PSG, and then against Ferran
yeah.
against Real Madrid as well. So I do want to see how he performs in a big game, especially at this age. I don't think his fitness is good enough anymore. He's very slow and lethargic. He doesn't run much anymore.
Yeah.
And João Pedro was like, honestly a completely different player. Like they're just completely different. I don't know what the word is. Archetypes, I guess. João Pedro is
Okay.
more of a shadow striker, while Lewandowski's like a poacher, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
I guess since I'll just say Lewandowski because his goal scoring record.
Again, yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
mentioned
think
how Joao Pedro could. We mentioned how Joao Pedro doesn't consider himself to be a striker. He kind of plays off another big striker behind, like in front of him. So I
When
do
you
think if we're
say
just talking
that,
about the striker, so what?
when you say that he doesn't consider himself a striker, that's basically like you're just leaving out exactly what's said. It wasn't just Joao Pedro that strictly says I'm not a striker. He says he's more of a false nine. He likes to work best off when there's chances created, as well as finding passes for other players.
So does that
So
imply he
he is
doesn't
a
like playing
striker.
fully striker?
He's just not the
I do.
traditional striker.
Yeah, I do think João Pedro adds like a lot of like he is very good in build up. He drops it deep, sends the ball wide. But I just don't think he is good enough to be compared to Lewandowski, especially in that striker position.
yeah, I think if it was Joao Pedro versus Ferran, for example, I think there could be a debate. But like with the form that Lewandowski's on right now, I think it would have to go Lewandowski for sure.
I think either Fran or Lewandowski would get in the striker position anyways.
That's
We
insane.
can talk about the Fran Joao Pedro if you want, but
No,
I
no, no. Let's skip
mean,
that because
you
we're
were
gonna
very
debate
happy
forever.
to admit. You were very happy
okay,
to admit.
Lewandowski. Okay, Lewandowski. I think Lewandowski makes it.
Okay, so yeah, let's go through our combined 11 one more time. So at goalkeeper we have Joan Garcia. Right back Reece James. Two center backs we have Eric Garcia and Fafana. Left back Balde. Two CDMs we have Caicedo and De Jong. Cam we have Fermin. Right wing Yamal. Left wing Rashford and striker Lewandowski. So yeah, dominated by Barca, which does make sense. But yeah, let's move on
Any Barca
to
fans? Yeah.
let's move on to another topic. Let's go to something more interesting. Let's go to our predicted scores for this game. So let's give like 1 minute to each person, give their thoughts and their predicted scores for the game. Who wants to go first?
Okay,
You
so
should,
I'll go first. I think this game will
Harmon, you go
definitely be
first.
high.
I'll go second.
Okay, bro. Okay, I think this game will definitely be high scoring. Both teams have a very solid attack. Chelsea do suffer against low blocks, but we are versing literally the opposite of that. I think Chelsea are amazing against high lines, especially with some of our players. Unfortunately, Palmer's not there. I think this game, yeah, I think this game will be high scoring from both teams. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Chelsea 3, Barcelona 2.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I definitely see that. Basically reiterating what you said, there are times where Chelsea, struggle in finding that play against low block teams, and this is sincerely like the opposite of it. So I don't expect much of a struggle for Chelsea. I do think this is a comfortable 4-2 win. Now, only reason why I put 4-2 extra is because I do believe, again, even though we don't have the likes of Palmer here, this is a team that's been very comfy without him, and we have seen how Enzo's 100% taking like that role. Although he may not be doing it like the 100% Palmer has, we've definitely seen even with the new signings such as Garnacho and like these increased winger signings, we've definitely seen the quality and the potential they've had compared to who we've had last season, especially in Club World Cup and other competitions. So I do see a comfy 4-2 win here for Chelsea.
Okay, I guess I'll follow up. So I do agree with Harmon. I do think it's going to be a high scoring game because we have seen that both sides have been vulnerable in defense and their attack is pretty good going forward. But I would obviously add this game to Barca. I do think Barcelona will win this game. I know this is away, but I do think they're going to win either 4-2 or 4-1. Um, I think the main thing for Flick and this team to do is not be naive and not be vulnerable against with the high line. Obviously, we've seen how many teams in the Champions League and other competitions have exposed us with the high line. But I think in recent weeks, Flick has adapted and fixed up. So hopefully, we don't concede in as many chances. And obviously, because we have Joan Garcia back, hopefully he plays a crucial role in our goalkeeper role and our defense. And overall, yeah, I think this is gonna be high scoring. I think Yamal will have something to say. I think we could see someone like Fermin score goals. So yeah, overall I'll go 4-2, Barca.
I guess I'll go. So Barca's defense is definitely very leaky, as we saw in the Club Brugge game. But I think Flick has definitely learned, and I think Yamal, Rashford, Lewandowski is just too much for Chelsea to handle. I think the score will be 3-1. Chelsea are obviously pretty good at going forward, but I don't think they'll score that many goals. So yeah, I think it'll be 3-1.
I think I'd be willing to put it on my life and honor that Lamine Yamal is going to get a GA. I also think that in this game we'll see that I think Barca will hold more possession. I think Barca will try their best to just hold onto the ball more and try to create. But I do think Chelsea will be like pretty difficult and resistant. And I think they like even like both Harmon hate to mention like how good Caicedo and Enzo are in the midfield, and that could definitely cause problems for Barcelona in the midfield. So we'll see what happens with that. But I do think Barcelona win this. I was thinking 4-2, but since that's already been said, I'm probably gonna go. Yeah, I'll go an interesting 4-0 or 5-1, one of those two. I think Lamine Yamal is gonna get a goal, maybe an assist. I think if Rashford plays, he'll get it. I think Firmino will score. I can definitely see Lewandowski also scoring. If Pedri plays, I think Pedri will also score. And for Chelsea, I think the only goal scorer I can see is like either Enzo or maybe one of the wingers, maybe Garnacho. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think for our next segment, we're gonna move on to our starts bench sell. So a bit of an activity with all of us. So I'll give you guys one list. Let's go with Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Frankie De Jong.
Okay, so I'll start this off. Caicedo definitely starts over both of them. This guy's just been immense this season. Adding GA to his game, defensive monster. The guy's everywhere. Most interceptions in the Premier League as well. And that is for a team that has a lot of possession usually. We are usually the team dominating possession. And then I think second, I'll go Enzo Fernandez, and then third, Frankie De Jong.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with this. I would start Caicedo, I would then bench Enzo, and then I would then sell the other.
Yep.
I guess I'll
That's
go.
it.
So I think this is
Calm down.
definitely just bias from them, but I would definitely
Not
start De
biased.
Jong. I think like the technical ability is just
Ow.
too much for
Oh
Caicedo
my
or Enzo
god.
to handle. So I would definitely start De Jong, bench Caicedo, and then Enzo's getting the boot.
Wow, Caicedo.
Yeah, so I'll go next, I guess. And I know that I think this is between two midfielders specifically. I think De Jong and Caicedo supersede Enzo Fernandez, but I think because both of them kind of play different roles for their respective teams. I think Caicedo is more of a stopper. He's more of a tackler and stuff. I think De Jong's more of a ball carrier, and he progresses the ball and holds tempo for his team. So I guess it depends on what you like for your team specifically. So for me, I would take De Jong. Obviously, Caicedo would be a good profile to have in your team. But yeah, I would bench Caicedo, and then Enzo, I guess he can hold. He can sell to Saudi or something.
For me, I would start De Jong and sell both Caicedo and Enzo and then buy a mansion. Okay, on a more serious note, I start De Jong for sure. I think as I mentioned before as well, De Jong's just superior in like just what a midfielder is. I think he's super good at ball carrying and just controlling the game. I mean, ever since Pedro is injured, just we've seen De Jong step up so much and how good he is that he's kind of made Barcelona look very stable, even without the presence of Pedri, because we know how good Pedri is and how last year he was the main person that made Barcelona stable and just kind of grounded. So I think De Jong's definitely the best of the three, and then I think I'll just bench Caicedo and sell Enzo.
Okay, let's move on to our next star bench sell. Let's go to. We're gonna include Yamal. We're gonna include Cole Palmer, and we're gonna include Rafinha. So this is a bit hard. So who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. So, first, I'm going to. Okay, this is very tricky. First, I think I'm going to. Like, are we talking about like money and stuff as well, or no? Should we ignore that shit?
Not really. Just yeah. If you had three
Okay, then
options.
I'm selling Lamine Yamal. He has shown a
Wow.
tendency to not appear in big games, and since he is like, I think he's a player with one of the highest market values. We will be selling him, and then buying superior players. I'm going to be starting Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is just the man is a magician, man. He makes football look he makes football look so easy, man. I think he's just an amazing player. Shows up in all the big games that he needs to. Well, I think it's very close between him and Rafinha. Rafinha, I think his season was so amazing last season. It kind of sucks that he didn't get any awards like Ballon d'Or or whatever. I don't know what the other awards are. He came fifth, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm going to be starting Cole Palmer, benching Rafinha, and then selling Lamine Yamal.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. So I think this is between two players for sure. So first I'll be talking about who I'm benching. I'm going to be benching Rafinha. Unfortunately, Rafinha had a spectacular season last season. And then I'm going to be starting Lamine Yamal, and then I think Cole Palmer should learn Chinese or something because he's getting sold.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll follow up. I think, again, yeah, these are all three good players. I think they're all good at what they do. So yeah, personally, I would start Lamine Yamal. I think the impact he can have on a game, especially in the big games against like Inter and stuff. We saw that that's one of the best Champions League performances we've seen in recent history. So yeah, he's obviously he has his performances where he's immense. He controls and almost carries his team. So I'd start Lamine Yamal. And between the other two, Rafinha and Palmer, I think it's really close. I do think that they're both good. I think they both do control the games. I think Rafinha's slightly system dependent, like he needs his conditions to thrive specifically. So in my opinion, I mean I love Rafinha, but I would sell him and I would bench Palmer.
For me, yes, all three of these guys are very talented, very amazing players, respectively. I think just for me, what it comes down to is just how good they are, and like how I guess like like last season is how they performed. I think for me, I think Lamine Yamal was the most consistent of the three. I think with Rafinha, I think Rafinha at like the first half of the season was very strong, and he had like a lot of goals in the big games, like the hat trick versus Bayern and all. But in the second half, he kind of I feel like after the Argentina game in international break, he kind of dropped. He just wasn't like the same like player, which I think hurt his Ballon d'Or chances. I think that's the reason why he didn't rank too high in the Ballon d'Or and why he wasn't like really a front runner for it. And then I mean this season we haven't seen much of Rafinha either because he's been injured and all. He's had like some setbacks. He missed the Madrid game unfortunately. I feel like if he played, it would have been a lot different. So I will bench Rafinha. And then between Lamine Yamal and Cole Palmer, I don't think Cole Palmer's as good as Lamine Yamal. I think Lamine Yamal has more to his game. I think Lamine Yamal is like super complete as an attacker. I think he's like the best attacker in the world right now. I think last season also he was also the best attacker as well that whole season. Arguably the best player in the world. And he had some of the best performances we've seen last season, namely the Inter game, which some people will try to discredit him, but I don't see how you can discredit that performance. I think both legs he was just the best player across both legs for both teams. So I'm gonna start Lamine Yamal, and then I'll sell Cole Palmer.
Yeah, Lamine Yamal did not like win the Euros at 16. He did not place second in the Ballon d'Or to be compared to guys like Estevao. But let's move on to the defense portion. Let's go to our last start sub sell. Okay, so let's go with Balde, let's go with Kukurea, let's go with Kunde, and let's go with Reece James.
It's okay.
So I'm 100% starting both of the Chelsea fullbacks. Reece James, I think
Oh.
that one's not even close. Koundé has just not been having that good of a season, while Reece James has been showing that he offensively and defensively he is still where he was back in 2021. Yes, there is the fitness worries, but Reece James has now not been injured for over a year, which I know isn't really an achievement, but for him it is, which is kind of crazy. But Reece James is also a captain; he can show leadership, and I think he 100% starts at right back. And left back, I think Kukurea would start. For a bench sell, I would bench Balde and then sell Koundé to maybe Al Nassr. Um, Kukurea definitely starts over Balde, as we've seen De La Fuente use Kukurea over Balde. Kukurea just has, I think, more to his game for sure, because he is defensively and offensively very complete. He can hold up play, he can shoot, he can cross, he can pass, he can do everything. He can do everything. While I think Balde does have some flaws defensively, as we've seen him giving away pens, and yeah.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think Balde is a lock for starting. I think he's gonna start because just how much he gives to a team, how much he can dominate a flank. He dominates his left flank so much, and he can provide those long runs and dribbles that he does, and he can almost take on a full team on his own side. So yeah, I think I'll start Balde. I think uh, my other start, I think honestly, unbiasedly, for this season and most recent form, I would put Reece James in there. Um, and I do think for the bench, I think Kunde, I think we're being a bit biased because Kunde has been in poor form this season, but I think he's slowly picking up. So yeah, I would bench Kunde and then Kukurea. I think he can start taking restaurant lessons, making his own restaurant and selling his own paellas. So yeah, he can work on that.
Yeah, I'll go next. So left back, yeah, this is very easy. This is obviously Balde. Right back, Kunde is not in good form.
Wait. Why?
What do you mean why?
Why would you put Balde there?
Because Balde is just very. I think me personally, Balde is just very. He's just better at Kunde. I mean not Kunde, sorry, better than Kukurea attack wise. And Kukurea, I think is just very overrated. Like I don't know why Chelsea.
Wait.
They
Okay, he's
prize a
overrated.
lot.
What would you say? No, okay. Now we're talking about his actual.
No, but like I said, I think Balde is just better than him attacking wise. His dribbling, his
Yeah, we're
pace,
talking about
everything.
like what's overrated about Kukurea?
Just how Chelsea fans rate him. Like I don't think he's a top 3 left back in the world. That's me personally though. I think
What would you
Balde,
say?
Nuno Mendes, and even that's just like a Chico DeMarco in there. Like I think DeMarco is better than
Oh.
Kukurea. But now I
Yeah.
think we're getting too off track. So that's the point. So
Yeah, but
Balde
so
at
I want
left
to talk about
back.
like why do you think Kukurea is so overrated? I want to see like what's his worst asset.
His worst asset. I mean, he just like flops. Like he's just a diver. Like he's not really that good. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, can we be serious?
I am being serious. But
Sorry, finish
so
up. We
you're
can
getting
wrap
me.
up. So
Yeah, you're getting me
we can
off
wrap
track.
up.
So left back, Balde, right back, I'll give it to Reece James. Bench, so yeah, I'll put Kunde on the bench, and then Kukurea can go cry in his car or something.
So for me, I'll still wrap this up. So I'm gonna start both Kunde and not Kukurea. I'll
Freudian
Balding
slip.
Kunde. No, I'm Balding Kunde. As I said before, we talked about this in the combined 11. I advocate for both these guys to start. So yeah, I do think these two are. I mean, with Kunde, I think he has kind of, like hasn't been that great this season, but I still would put him above Reece James as a right back. And I do think that as the season progresses, I think we'll see Kunde slowly pick up his form from last season, and he'll continue to be like the best right back in the world, in my opinion. And then Balde, I mean, I kind of said a lot about Balde before, but yeah, it's just very good. I think I think his qualities as a left back, and I think with his unique ability of just like the pace plus the dribbling, I guess like ball carrying ability as well. I think that's just very useful. Even though I think Kukurea is he's very good. I do think he is a top 3 left back. I will admit he is a top 3 left back right now. I think Baldy is better. So yeah, and then I'll probably sell Reece James, and then I'll bench Kukurea.
That pretty much wraps up our preview for the Barcelona versus Chelsea fixture in the Champions League. It is coming up really soon in about 3 days. So yeah, grab your popcorn, get ready, because I do think this is going to be a dramatic matchup in the Champions League. But yeah, please note that we're going to recap everything after the match as well. So yeah, don't forget to vote on your own combined XI. Let us know your hot takes and your instant reactions after Tuesday's drama. See you all then. Thank you for listening.
Shout out to the special guest. Goodbye.
Yeah, shout out to Armin, shout out to Haytham, and shout out to Piyush.